What's up, guys?
Hey, guys.
I'm here with Steven Cornett. We are at the future and the present of Nature's Always Right.
That's right.
Nature's Always Right Farm. Why did you name it that, by the way?
Because it's a philosophy I believe in. I believe that when it comes to your health, making decisions about land, or almost any decision in life, if we go with the natural answer, the natural solution, the solution that follows the natural pattern of nature, we're gonna have the best results.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, scientists study insects to understand how their skin works, and then they use that in some application. It sort of makes sense, right?
Absolutely, yeah, biomimicry.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, that's the word. Anyways, we're getting off topic. We are here at Nature's Always Right Farm, which is a new budding market garden style farm, very similar to like the Curtis Stone model, right?
That's a lot of my
heavily inspired,
heavily inspired.
But maybe potentially at this scale, maybe slightly improved.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, with my inputs, I'm trying to do something a little different.
Certainly seems like it. Anyways, we're gonna get into it. This is gonna be a long video. It's a little different than the ones I've done in the past. It's just a super deep dive into how this farm works, and he's at the point right now where you're about to start selling.
Yeah, this Sunday I'll be at my first market officially. Yeah, with my producer certificate.
And I mean, look, cool. Like, this looks like a farm that's been going for a while, so it's gonna be cool. He's got a YouTube channel of his own. It's Nature's Always Right. I'll put it in the video description. He's just launched it, but he's got like a year of past footage, so you'll be able to see the whole progress of the thing growing, and like detailed stuff on how these beds are set up, how that chicken coop is set up. There's stuff even back there that we haven't even looked at, and how that's set up. So hit him up and subscribe to him as well. And then let's go ahead and like take a tour of the farm.
Sounds good. Let's go check it out.
Yeah,
it'll be fun. Hey guys, my name's Steven Cornett, and I'm an urban farmer in San Diego, California, and welcome to my farm. Looking at 13 beds here. These are all 2.5 feet, and the walkways are 10 inches wide. It's a very tight, hard to work in space, but this is how I'm able to produce a lot of vegetables on a small piece of land. I've taken a lot of these techniques from a guy named Curtis Stone, and I highly recommend checking out his channel as well if you want to learn how to do stuff like this.
I mean, this is straight out of the playbook, right? Pretty close to it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is what Jean Martin does. A lot of the market gardeners, they love the 2.5 foot bed. And one of the reasons why is because I can do this.
Right.
You can plant from this position. I can go on the side here. I can plant from this position.
It's designed for a human being and not a machine, right?
Exactly. You can even do this position like this. I just started doing this recently.
Oh, I like that.
It's kind of comfortable.
That's better than kneeling over the top for the back, huh?
Yeah, it's better on your back.
Yeah.
So like a lot more of my weight's going on my heel and my ball of my foot.
And it's crazy to think, because like the hundreds of thousands of repetitions you would do that movement over actually makes a big difference on the body.
Absolutely. Yeah, and like because doing this over time, like your back is just gonna
get wrecked. Yeah.
So yeah, right here, this is a bed of arugula, and I've planted 9 rows, and that is a lot of rows, and that's because I'm going to harvest this for salad greens, and I even have a special tool that I use for that called the Farmer's Friend Greens Harvester, and that's a tool that you just run over the top, and it's a spinning wheel of rope, and it has a blade, and it cuts and puts it in a bag for you. So a lot of my production is going to be using that tool because I plan on growing lots of salad mixes. I want crops that turn over quickly and crops that are high in value, high in profit margin. Because I'm growing on such a small space, about a 1/4 acre. Yeah, that's you have to have high production value if you want to make this a profitable business.
And you've been here for how long? You were telling me you didn't do too much. Or you kind of did something different when you actually prepared the soil, right?
Yeah. So
different than, I guess, the stone model, right? Slightly.
Yeah, definitely. So I didn't bring in that many cost inputs here. So what I did in this whole area, I did what's called a sheet mulch. And a sheet mulch is when you bring in a large carbon layer of either cardboard or straw, wood chips. Those are the most common.
Yeah.
And you layer that out and you let it break down. So what I did is, for my sheet mulch, I got some free cardboard from a glass business down the street, and they gave me this incredible 60-foot long cardboard that was completely free of tape and everything. I laid that out across this entire thing, this entire 2,500 square foot area. Then I added about an inch of potting soil to the top of that whole area. That was the only soil input that I bought.
Wow.
I got that locally from a guy who's been making soil in Ramona for like 50 years.
Okay.
It's amazing soil.
Yeah.
And
you cover cropped it too, right?
Cover cropped it on top of that. So then I broadcasted 3 different types of clover, wildflowers, you know, yarrow, borage, wheat, vetch. So lots of different things that are nitrogen builders, different legumes that help to build the soil life, nitrogen levels. And then at the end of the life, as I let all of that grow, I had a field out here about this tall.
Holy moly.
Yeah, I've got pictures and videos of that. Cool. And
so what do you do with that once you're done? You just chop it down and turn it under?
Yeah, exactly. Once I was done, I came in with this little mini tractor and plowed it all down, turned it over, got it under the soil. And
it eventually ends up looking like this, yeah. And that was like, you said, like a 6-month process, right, to get that done?
Process when I started the property.
It's been how long since that 6 months has elapsed?
I'd say another 8 months. So I've been on this property like a year and 2 months basically. And I'm finally at the point actually where I'm able to sell.
Right.
San Diego County Inspector came today, and I'm supposed to go pick up my certificate tomorrow. So now I'm certified. I can sell at a farmer's market, so it's really exciting.
It's off to the races now, man.
So yeah, now I'm finally ready to launch my farm and do this thing. It's really exciting, and I'm excited to share what I'm doing with everybody. And
you have a channel, right? You've got
a channel. It's called Nature's Always Right.
Nature's Always Right, which will also be in the description on the video. And we're gonna probably, I mean, I don't know about you, but I want to know about these chickens that I'm seeing in the background. So let's go ahead and talk about those guys.
Cool, let's check out the chickens. This is kind of their outer run. This is a run I open up whenever I'm home. We don't have any dogs or anything like that, but we get raccoons, possums, skunks. There's a lot of things that
so you could lose a chicken if you weren't watching, right?
Yeah. Hawks fly over here. So, and then coming in here, this is their main house where they live. And inside of this enclosure, they have 15 square feet per bird, and I designed it that way because that is like the quote free range.
That's the minimum free range, yeah.
Free range size.
And that's 15 square feet that they need to be allowed to run around,
yes,
right?
To move around. They need that per bird. So that's why I designed it like that.
And it's kind of a tall coop, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. The reason I ended up going that big is because I wanted this top piece here to not touch my head because I'd be working in here. And then like the roof line of this, it just ended up, I wanted to have the roof line be angled so that I could catch the water. And then the angle that I needed, it just worked out that I built it really tall. So it's a little overkill. So this thing's built from about 50% recycled wood, and the rest is just stuff that I bought. And so they roost up on these 2x4s here. And so you can use 2x4s. Some people use oak rounded dowels, but from the research I've read about, this is actually the best ergonomically for their feet.
Bit more stable, right, than the circular dowels?
Yeah, the circular dowels, like a lot of people think that chickens need those because other birds like cockatiels, they like lock their knees on them, but chickens can't, they don't have that function where they lock their knee like that.
So it's not useful to them.
Hurting their heels, I read in this one research. So anyways, they seem to like it. But the oak dowels work too. I have an automatic door set up here.
Oh.
And it runs on a piston and a timer, and it's charged by a solar panel on the top here.
Right, okay. So you're basically trying to take out, from what I'm looking at with this coop, and really I guess the whole farm, is you're trying to take out as much effort as you can, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Because like, I mean, why open the door when a solar panel can take care of it for you,
exactly.
Right?
Why should I wake up at 6 a.m. to open the door for them?
Got a little friend popping in. Hey man. Tell me more about it. You've got some other stuff going on that's pretty unique, right?
Yeah, so like the way I designed this coop is to do the least amount of work for these chickens as humanly possible. And I've been fairly successful. I hardly come out here to deal with them other than just enjoy them and watch them. One of the features right here, you'll notice that the coop is elevated off of the ground. It is actually 3 feet.
Okay.
Because you'll know, I built it for me because that's where my waste is.
Okay.
And it's ergonomic for me to scoop out all their waste. So I just put my wheelbarrow here, and I take my rake and I scoop them out.
And you come straight out.
So in about 60 seconds, I've cleaned out their coop.
Which normally takes someone, who knows,
longer.
Yeah, much longer than that.
Yeah.
And then you've sped up your feeding and watering systems a bit, right?
I have.
Rather than doing it manually, or?
So a lot of people, they just use little feeders like this.
Yeah.
And they work well.
Yep.
But if you have more than 3 chickens, I mean, you're filling this thing up every day. So that gets very time consuming.
Yeah.
You're spending 5 minutes a day filling up the water, filling up the food. It's creating a lot of effort for you. It's annoying.
And it's not really a value-added activity, right? I mean,
no,
you're just repeating the same process over and over again.
Absolutely, yeah. In essence, it's wasted time.
But you still have one of these.
I do have one of these, and I supplement their diet with oyster shell, and I get this from a local pet store, and they have charcoal. What else is in it? Charcoal is good for getting rid of parasites, helps it's cleansing to them.
Okay.
The oyster shell is for added calcium to make sure they...
Almost like a little vitamin mineral mix type thing. Yes. Okay.
Exactly. And then there's also mini rocks. And they need these little small rocks. They swallow those because that goes into an organ that they have called the gizzard.
Right.
And the gizzard is an organ that basically grinds up really hard food. And allows them to absorb those nutrients. So things, yeah, like grass or seeds, things like that. Their feeding systems right here, I still feed them grain. My goal eventually is to have them living completely off of, you know, compost, plants, vegetables that I grow, brewery grains, and then I also am working on creating insect systems like mealworms and soldier flies.
We're gonna look at those in a second, huh?
And so these are systems I'm still learning how to build and use, and it's a whole other species of animals. And so totally. There's a big learning curve. But
so these, let's take a look.
I'm feeding them organic grain, and I just use these tubes. So every 20 days or so, I add a 50-pound bag to the tubes. If I wanted, I could fill them up higher. But
so instead of a, I don't know, 5 to 10 minute process a day, it's a one time a month process, right? Yeah.
So it's 20 times more efficient. The watering system, you can kind of see the back here. You'll see I have a 55-gallon drum, and the roof can actually collect rainwater.
Oh, nice! I love that.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's rad.
And this roof I actually took from an old shed that was in the backyard here. We ripped it off.
Okay.
And we just built a support structure and then bolted it down on top, and it worked.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, it doesn't leak. It works perfect.
So you're basically anything you can do to either reduce your time cost or your cost, your actual monetary cost you're doing. Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
I could have built a roof.
Yep.
That would have cost me time, and it would have cost me...
And money. So you just double-headed savings right there.
Stuff. Yeah, as much as possible.
Especially when you're working with, what, a quarter acre max? This is all you got right now.
That's all I have for now.
You got to max it out.
I have to. So the water, it's 55 gallon. You'll see that there's PVC connected to it. And then connected to this PVC, I've tapped in what's called poultry nipples. And poultry nipples are used commercially to raise chickens in those gigantic, disgusting farms that you've probably seen on the internet.
Yep.
But here they have plenty of access to water. They don't have to fight for it. And they just tap the nipple and the water comes out.
Okay.
And this is, it depends on the time of year, but you know, in the summer, they can go about 2 months, maybe, something like that.
You water, quote unquote, your chickens.
Yes, I do.
6 times a year.
Yes, exactly. And that's all I have to do.
Yeah.
And one of the things that sucks about the water when you have to refill it with one of those bucket systems, it's unsanitary. And you have to keep it off the ground. A lot of times they'll poop into it, or they'll get dirt or some other gross stuff.
And then you got like a disease vector.
It could be a disease vector. It is a disease vector.
Yeah.
This eliminates that and saves you time. If you live in a place like California, you can get a rebate on that, and it's free.
Ooh.
So yeah, just some things to think about. My fertility area, and where I make a lot of the compost and other fertilizers that I use in the farm. So about every 3 months, I'm able to clean out my chicken coop. So I take all the bedding out, and then I add, so most of that bedding is cardboard, straw, and I actually, so all my toilet paper rolls, paper towel rolls, boxes from Amazon or something I've had shipped to me, I save all of that. I take the tape off, and then I shred it up and I put it in here.
And so the chickens work on it for a bit.
Yeah, the chickens go to work, they poop on it, it helps absorb the smell, it helps the soil breakdown. And so basically I take all that, that's my carbon, and there's a little bit of green from the chicken manure, but a lot of that has either composted or dried up by the time it gets here. So I've got to add a lot of greens. And the greens are coming probably from your non-edible parts of your farm, right? Yeah, absolutely. Like carrot tops or whatever? Yes, carrot tops, old dead plants that have to go.
What about like, let's say you got like a squash with like some powdery mildew on it or whatever. Will it get hot enough to destroy that?
You know, in my opinion, if you can take your compost pile beyond 140 up to 150,
you're fine.
I think you're totally gonna do it, and it won't be an issue.
Seems like that's like the consensus right now. Is like all the things they say don't put in. Well, if it gets to a certain heat, you're probably fine, right?
You know, citrus, orange peels, and onions, they say don't put in. I don't generally put them in. They attract mold and fungal growth. And we're really looking for bacterial growth in compost. If you have a little bit, it's all good. The bacteria is gonna wipe it out, but don't be putting tons like that.
Yeah, let's
I
take a
don't
look.
compost meat or dairy. I actually do bokashi composting for that.
Yep, I've done the same thing. Works really well for that.
Bokashi is amazing. I just learned how to do it a couple months ago from a local guy. So this is about, I think we're like 6 or 7 weeks in on this compost.
It's looking good.
I brought it up to like 150 and I held it above 140 for at least 15 days. And that's like to be certified organic soil. It has to be held. What they have to do is hardcore. If you're doing a big windrow, one of those giant windrows, I think they have to do 15 consecutive days above 140, and they have to turn the pile 5 times.
So there's regulations on something as granular as that.
Yes, there's regulations on how you make soil. It has to be sterile because there could be listeria or other manure-borne pathogens. So yeah, cool. So I'll be adding that to crops soon.
So that goes out into the field. Then this is
this is an experiment that I haven't finished yet. I'm going to be posting a video about this once it's successful, but this is kind of my own design. It's a combination of different soldier fly larva design box. So this is my own box. And
which black soldier fly, just so everyone knows, it's just the classic house fly, right?
No, it's different actually.
Oh, okay.
It's a little bit longer and bigger. You usually don't see them that often around because they're kind of stealthy. They won't go after your food.
Okay.
Like the housefly does. It doesn't like.
They're not popping on your steak when you're outside.
Yeah, they want fresh, they like more fresh vegetation. So what's so amazing about the black soldier fly larva is that they can eat anything, but they like to really feed on fresh stuff like veggies or like meat.
Nice squash.
A nice squash.
Actual fresh meat, not
really,
sort of rotting.
Not rotten. Yeah. They don't want rotten stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So when I say fresh, fresh meat.
Truly fresh meat. Yeah.
Yeah. They can even eat manure. And it's, I know there's some different like pig farmers that have experimented where they feed the pig manure to the soldier fly. The soldier fly process it for them, and then they somehow do something with that.
And so then, what
the end product? I don't know.
Does the manure at that point become like a finished compost style manure at that point, or I wonder?
It would be, and some people do use the black soldier fly liquid and the black soldier fly leftover compost.
So it's almost like a worm farm type idea.
Yes, but people don't use this on their never on salad crops, maybe for fruit trees, because you are maybe you're putting manure, maybe you're putting
it would be terrible to use that on salad crop. You're eating the vegetation.
It'd be dangerous. Possibly very dangerous. So, but these soldier fly are very interesting. There's so many applications they can be used for. They can feed fish, they can feed chickens, they can feed pigs. I think humans too, even.
Yeah, if we could get over eating bugs, we probably could eat them.
Pretty. Yeah. So this is a future project I hope to display and show people how to do and show it how to set this up easily. For me, this is a fascinating system. It's a way we can take inputs from restaurants or leftover vegetables from grocery stores, toss it in here, convert it into protein that's then fed to chickens or pigs or fish.
Right, because we didn't talk about that. The point really for you in this is the fact that like eventually you'll have some sort of tube coming out of here and the larvae will basically suicide themselves into the coop, right?
Yes, that's a great.
They're like lemmings,
they're lemmings and they just drop
off and they get munched on.
I'm imagining the chickens are just gonna be hanging out all the time.
Totally, yeah, just waiting.
Like, please.
Yeah, like from the gods from above, basically. Yeah.
We'll show an update on that.
Okay.
Someday soon.
Hit that channel. Definitely subscribe because he will have basically probably multiple videos on all these little systems we're walking around and looking at.
Yeah, I have videos about how I built all of these things. Some of them might not be uploaded yet, but stay tuned. I wanna tell you guys how to build all this stuff.
He's been busy actually farming, not making videos, so they'll come out, but just over time. All right, so worm composting, right?
Yeah, these are vermicompost or worm compost bins. And this is definitely not a commercial setup. This is a large home gardener setup, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So if I dig down here, you'll see some of the worms. This is actually a new bin I started recently. Mm-hmm. So you're not gonna see that many worms here, because most of them are
they're still making their way from the bottom, right?
Yeah, so there's still some material. Most of this is castings.
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go.
But you'll see there's a heck of a lot in here.
Yeah, this is pretty well finished, isn't it?
This is
That's
I could
like
use
beautiful.
This.
Yeah,
I could use this now, but I need to wait a little bit longer. So they go up into this new bin.
Right.
I just reset these last week.
Because effectively, the way that works is they run themselves out of food in the bottom, and then for survival's purpose, they climb upwards towards the next bin, right?
Yeah, you got it, man.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of the 3-tote system.
Yep.
The 2 totes.
Which is like, what is this, like a $20 setup? It's not even? Yeah.
Yeah, if you just wanted to build this, like, so a normal a home setup at your house, you would have one more tote that would collect the juice.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, you're doing something a little different, aren't you?
Yeah, so for me, I came up with this design to save cost, because this is my 3rd tote.
And it runs across.
Yeah, all of these drain into this bottom container here.
Yeah, the little trough, and then it drops down into this bucket here, right?
Yep, so I can collect it here.
Yeah.
I can create teas from it. I could put it directly on my crops if it's fresh.
Sure. And then you went with, how come you went with multiple totes then?
So the reason I wanted to do this is because you're going to do a lot of work lifting it and moving it.
Yeah.
And if it's too big, I've actually made other worm systems, and I use the larger, like, are they 25 or 30 gallon? They're
the
really
big
totes.
Stairlight totes.
Yeah, and they're like, it's, you know, you're going to hurt your back. It's like 60
So it's like an ergonomics reason.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then when I'm finished, what I can do is, when I have my worm castings and it's ready to go, this is an easy, you know, this is like 30 pounds, easy to move, and I can just put it on the ground next to my plant and fertilize.
And just go.
And just go. Or, so it makes it really
this is kind of like a middle range. It's any one of these is a home gardener system.
Yes.
Chain them together and throw a trough under for all the leachate, right?
Yes.
And then you're good to go.
Exactly.
Cool.
All right, guys. So check out this carrot bed here. I just want to show you a technique that could help you in your garden or your farm. So you'll notice, if you know what carrots look like, these are them right here. And these are rainbow carrots. They're purple,
They'll just come up as a bunch of different colors.
A bunch of different colors. And so I didn't get perfect germination here.
Which is notorious. Carrots are notorious for being hard to germinate, right? I think I was
freaking hard, man.
I just listened, I think, a couple days ago to a Curtis Stone lecture about carrots.
He was having problems this year.
He was having problems,
after
and
8 years of farming, he's having problems.
It's crazy.
It's hard.
Yeah, yeah.
So, don't give up. If you're growing carrots, don't give up. You can do it. They just, the secret is they can never dry out. If a carrot seed dries out, it's all over.
Yeah, he was saying he did something where he covers them with like
burlap
or a mesh or even a shade cloth.
Shade cloth. He uses shade cloth.
And then he'll.
I use burlap.
Yeah, burlap. Okay. Yeah, let's keep going then.
So I did cover this with burlap, and I still didn't get a perfect germination, but that's all good.
It's pretty darn good though. I mean, it's not that bad.
In the spots here where I missed, so look at this huge spot right here.
Yep.
This is parsley.
Yeah.
And
there you go.
So parsley is in the same family as carrots. The I can't ever pronounce the.
Dude, no one knows how to pronounce the Latin names. No one knows.
Apicea, whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
So, and they even kind of look similar, right?
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah, that sort of angular leaf.
Yes. These are like all separated, but same pattern.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I never put that together.
Yeah.
It's the same. It just this has less plant matter.
Yeah, there's
on
more
the leaf.
space.
Yeah,
more
that's all it is. Yeah.
Something. So I put parsley here, and then further on, mixed in here, there's also cilantro. And cilantro is the same family as this is cilantro.
There you go. Yeah.
Cilantro and parsley look really similar.
They're very close.
They're really freaking hard to tell apart, but
cilantro's a bit more frilly, I've noticed, on the leaves.
Yeah.
You go close on those leaves, it's like very, very frilly, and then the parsley is only slightly less so right here.
So yeah, like, you know, I could have just let these carrots grow.
Yeah.
But then I'd be wasting space.
Right.
That space here that's not making money.
Everything right here is money. It's money, right?
This is a market garden. This isn't a home garden. So take this concept to your home garden, because you want to grow as much food as you possibly can in your garden box, in your raised bed, or wherever you're...
I mean, even at home, it's like if you're trying to grow to eat, and you have way less, this is not a lot of space for a market garden, and you have way less space at a home garden.
Yeah.
Why not get some parsley in the spot that was supposed to be a carrot when you've got maybe 100 square feet to grow in, right?
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah, fill in all that extra space with something.
Yeah.
And I've done that over here as well. Let's see another spot where I tried to do that.
So you just like spot transplanting in when you see that?
Yeah. So like these 2 rows, I tried to sprout them in August, which is one of the hottest months in San Diego.
Yep.
And it's, as we talked about, it's really hard to germinate them.
And that's, if you're gonna keep them wet, good luck in August, right?
Yeah, it was crazy. I had to just constantly water, so it's not very efficient. But, so the spots where I missed some of my beets, I threw some lettuce in there.
There it is, yep.
And it's growing decently. It's not getting very much sun, so you can see the leaves are a little bit stretchy, a little bit.
They're reaching,
longer. They're
they
reaching
want
for
some
that
light.
Sun, they want that sun. Once I take out the squash, in the next couple of weeks they'll fill in a little more.
Sure.
And get better.
Yeah.
It won't be the prettiest, but I'll get a little bit of.
It's better than zero. Yeah, that's the way to think about it, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, that's barren ground that's actually fertile that's producing nothing, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And do you do the same thing with these carrots here?
I did. So there's dill. So dill is also in the same family. I did dill and cilantro.
Okay. And it's just intermixed.
Yeah, it's hard to see. It's mostly on the sides.
Yeah.
I just did it in places where I thought it could get enough light.
Would that be a problem when it comes to, like, let's say you're harvesting this bed of carrots and you kind of have to like manually separate out the different crops that you interplanted in between, or is it worth that effort?
When I'm ready to crop this bed out, like take everything out, I'll probably just harvest everything in one go.
Yeah,
and then replant it.
Then you're fine.
That's
you just
like the
quick
Curtis
separation.
Stone. Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's what Curtis Stone does.
Yeah.
Most of the time, he calls it cropping out of bed. So you, instead of harvesting over this a really long period of time, if most of the carrots are around the same size, pull them all out and then replant immediately.
Yeah.
So the production's going again.
Don't try to like favor the few and disregard the many, or however you want to think about that. Yeah.
Yeah, that extra $20 you're gonna get from saving that little patch of carrots, just so they could grow a little more.
You're losing a week of time that you're putting out, a whole nother bed of carrots, which will make you hundreds of dollars, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Got it.
Guys, this is my post-processing center, and this is kind of the last stage of my farm that I'm building. And so you'll see I've got a table here. This is kind of where I bag everything, and right now I'm storing some fertilizer, and my this is going to be the blower pump for my greens bubbler.
Okay.
And I learned how to do that once again from Curtis Stone.
The Godfather. We should start calling him the Godfather.
Thanks, Curtis, by the way.
Yeah.
And the green bubbler is an agitator, and what it does, it's pumping in a ton of air and bubbles, and it's pulling off all the dirt, and then it just leaves your greens perfectly clean, and it does it very quickly and painlessly.
Just yet another thing where you're adding efficiency with zero effort on your part, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's cheap. I got that pump for $50. Craigslist.
Yeah, and then the totes are what, $10 each or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Pretty cheap.
From Walmart or wherever you want to get them. Then this is a drying table, and what this does is after you've cleaned all your greens, either by rinsing them off or by using them in the bubbler, you spread them out here, and I turn on these 2 fans and blow air on top.
Yep.
And then when they're dry, I just then I can take them to the bag and put them in a bag, and they're ready to go.
And they're done.
And
how long does it take to dry like a bed of greens on this thing?
No more than 5 minutes.
Wow, that's actually really quick.
Yeah,
that's quicker than I thought.
I'm gonna spin them in my salad spinner first.
Ooh.
And my salad spinner is a washing machine.
Yet another Stone idea, right?
Yeah, so it's Curtis Stone, and there's this, I forgot the guy's name. It's on Curtis Stone's videos if you go to his washing machine video. This one guy figured out how to modify them, and he even has a course, it's like 30 or 40 bucks. It gives you all the plans and the instructions of how to modify it, how to wire it up, where you can possibly get the parts and everything, and it's really cool.
Because otherwise you're trying to, you're either making like a hand spinner or you're not spinning it, and then you're losing so much time to drying, right?
Yeah.
And the longer like a green stays wet on the surface of it, the lower the shelf life of the green. Yeah. At least from the microgreens world, I know that's true.
For microgreens and the cut greens, you want them dry.
Yeah, like bone dry, yeah. Cool.
And then, so then back here, I just have a simple wash table.
And this is for like root crops and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Root crops, carrots, anything big, I can just slap on top of here and spray off.
Got it.
And I have this tarp because I plan on collecting all the water that I'm using back here from the bubbler and also from the table here. I'm gonna have it all drain into a central bin, and then I'll pump that water out with a fish pump, and I'll drain that into my shrubs here.
Yeah.
maybe to the trees back there.
So the whole thread is just like how much can you reuse, how many inputs can you delete, how much time can you delete?
Absolutely.
Everything, and then that, like, there's no other way to do it if you're a market farm on this scale, right?
Yeah,
you have to just go as efficient and effective as you can, right?
That's what I believe. Yeah, that's what I believe is the case.
Rad.
From seeing a lot of different farms, reading a lot about different farms.
Yeah.
If you want to learn about a very efficient farm, Never Sink Farms. If you search them, they're doing incredible.
They're out in New York, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Connor Crickmore, is that his name?
Yeah, that is.
I think I just watched the video.
Yeah, it's incredible. Go watch that guy's video.
Yep.
Like he's making 350 grand gross on an acre and a half. Like he's doing crazy efficient stuff. Really smart stuff.
From what I read, I saw his video and he was like a systems engineer building like email spamming tools and like and like financial tools or something like that. So like his level of understanding scale, I think, is what's helping him with that, which is like fascinating. But anyways, yeah, Never Sink Farms. I'll just put all this stuff in the video description. Yeah. Cool. All right.
Okay, so yeah, it's still in process, but once it's built, it'll be like a well-oiled machine, and I can just wash, spin, dry, bag,
and then you're good to go. Yeah.
I'm off to the market.
Right. Cool. Okay, that was it.
Did you have fun? Did you like what you saw?
I had so much fun. I learned so much.
Good, cool.
All these tiny little nuggets. Because I mean, I'm a hydroponics guy. I'm just a home gardener, right? And like, I just love gardening, houseplants, succulents, whatever. And this is something that hopefully in the near future will see me doing something similar to this. Maybe not at this scale. Just, you know, just making. I want to have the epic gardening test garden. That's kind of what I want to do.
Heck yeah, man.
But
let's do it.
If it looks like this, I'm not gonna be upset.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Steven's got his own channel. If you like this video, which hopefully you're still watching, I know this is longer than my normal ones, drop some comments. He'll be in the comments answering them, and I'll be in the comments answering them. And then, of course, just go over to his channel. It's Nature's Always Right. Yeah. It's gonna be cool. Like, I'll probably be the first subscriber. It's gonna be sick to see the journey of how you make something like this work. Because this is, I mean, look at this lifestyle. You're hanging out here. This is your office. This is your office, right? You live right there. And you're gonna sell to places around here. Yep. You know, and that's what
10 miles.
And that's what it is.
Yeah, it's the best. So yeah, I'd love to show you guys more. You know, me and Kevin are so passionate about giving you guys really good information and trying to inspire you guys to grow the best that you possibly can. So yeah.
I mean, all this stuff is going to be useful if you're a home gardener too. So yeah,
absolutely.
Stay tuned. I mean, this is like some next level stuff, to be honest.
Oh, thanks,
so anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned and keep gardening, keep growing. Good luck in the garden.
See you guys
later.
Bye.